10 Surprising Truths About the INFJ Mind. Have you ever felt like your mind is a swirling galaxy of depth, emotion, and intuition, but no one seems to notice? INFJs, the rarest personality type, carry a world within them so intricate and hidden, even they struggle to understand it sometimes. If you're an INFJ, this video is made for you. We're about to explore 10 surprising truths about your mind that you've likely felt, but never heard anyone articulate out loud. Get ready to feel seen, understood, and empowered. 1. Your mind is a constantly running simulation machine. As an INFJ, your dominant function, introverted intuition, NI, isn't just a passive observer of life. It's a deeply complex internal processor, a machine that runs predictive models based on everything you've seen, felt, and experienced. While others react to the present moment, you're often already living 2, 3, or 10 steps ahead, mentally and emotionally. In social situations, this manifests as an eerie ability to anticipate conflict, connection, or even someone's next move. You may sense a breakup weeks before the couple themselves realize the rift. Or, in the middle of a work meeting, you'll catch a glance, a sigh, or a tonal shift, and suddenly, you're predicting office politics like a strategist. As a child, this foresight was isolating. Maybe you felt something wasn't right with a family friend, or you foresaw a friendship turning toxic, and when you voiced it, adults said you were overthinking or being paranoid. But then your prediction came true. The problem was, you couldn't explain how you knew, because your knowing wasn't logical in the traditional sense, it was intuitive. So you learned to stay silent, even when the truth screamed inside you. And because your intuition is rarely wrong, you carry the burden of seeing too much, a gift that feels more like a weight when no one else understands it. 2. You mirror people to make them feel comfortable, but it's draining you. One of the INFJ's unconscious talents is emotional mirroring. Like emotional chameleons, you absorb and reflect the moods, speech patterns, energy, and emotional needs of the people around you. Not because you're fake, but because you want others to feel safe, seen, and understood. It's your way of saying, you don't have to explain. I'm already here with you. So around bubbly extroverts, you become animated and upbeat. Around quiet thinkers, you soften into introspection. With spiritual people, you speak in metaphors, with intellectuals, in facts and analysis. But when you walk away, who are you? Over time, this constant shape-shifting creates an identity fog. You start wondering, am I just who people need me to be? Do I even know what I want? And the emotional exhaustion creeps in. Socializing becomes draining, not because you dislike people, but because you're constantly managing their comfort at the expense of your own authenticity. You leave conversations depleted, replaying moments, wondering if you overshared, undershared, or said the right thing. You might even begin to isolate, not because you dislike company, but because it's the only time you don't have to wear someone else's emotional skin. 3. Your empathy is so deep it feels like possession. INFJs don't just empathize. They merge. You walk into a room and instantly feel the emotional undercurrents, tension behind a smile, heartbreak under casual words, or anxiety that no one else seems to notice. It's not just awareness, it's full-body emotional immersion. You become the emotion. And if someone's hurting, you carry it as if it were your own. Sometimes you feel like a psychic sponge, soaking up the energies around you without consent. After spending time with someone in pain, you may go home feeling sick, heavy, or inexplicably sad. You might even cry and not know why. Until you remember the person you sat next to hours earlier. You try to help, to soothe, to be the emotional anchor for everyone else, but who anchors you? Eventually, this empathic overload leads to burnout. You retreat into solitude, not to escape people, but to detox from their energy. You may look fine on the outside, but internally, you're staggering under an emotional load that was never yours to carry. It's no wonder INFJs often seem distant or mysterious. They're not cold, they're just protecting themselves from drowning in everyone else's emotional ocean. 4. You struggle to explain yourself, because words are too small for your thoughts. Your mind works like an abstract painting, not a bullet point list. You feel truths, sense patterns, and dream in symbolism. You can see the emotional trajectory of someone's life based on one conversation, or feel the spiritual crisis beneath their everyday complaints. But when you try to articulate it, language fails. The words are too linear, too simplistic, too flat. You start to speak, then pause, because what you're trying to say is a feeling, a vision, a truth that lives in layers. And as you search for the right words, others may interrupt, misinterpret, or look confused. That only makes you retreat further. Maybe you've had people say, "You're being vague," or "Just get to the point," when your entire inner world is a flood of insight they're not prepared to receive. Over time, you give up. You decide it's easier to stay quiet, to nod along, to observe silently rather than try to translate your soul into sound bites. But the silence isn't apathy. It's depth being held in reverence. 5. You're both highly idealistic and deeply cynical. Here lies one of the INFJ's most painful contradictions. On one hand, you carry a vision of how beautiful the world could be, where people are kind, just, and honest. You crave authentic love, meaningful work, and soul-deep conversations. You give second chances, offer grace, and hope for transformation. But on the other hand, you've seen behind the curtain. You know people lie, manipulate, and betray for self-interest. You've trusted too much, gotten burned, and internalized the lesson. Not everyone has a good heart, and not everyone deserves your forgiveness. So you become this strange mix of radiant hope and quiet mistrust. You may show compassion, yet prepare for betrayal. You may believe in humanity's potential, yet keep your walls high. This duality confuses even you. How can I love so deeply and still walk away so easily? Why do I give endlessly, then go no contact without warning? It's not hypocrisy, it's survival. When someone crosses your moral boundary, no matter how much you care, your internal compass demands distance. And once you've seen the truth behind someone's mask, there's no going back. This idealism-cynicism tug-of-war can leave you feeling emotionally split, too sensitive for a cruel world, too wise to live with blind faith. But here's the truth, this paradox doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're awake. 6. You process everything internally, so people think you're okay when you're not. Unlike external processors, INFJs experience emotions deeply but silently. This invisibility often causes others to overlook their pain. You might be going through emotional turmoil, but you still show up to work, smile, and get everything done. No one suspects a thing. You begin to feel resentful. Why does no one check in on you? Why do you have to fall apart completely for others to notice? 7. You're a natural healer, but you attract the emotionally wounded. Your aura of calm and understanding makes others gravitate toward you, especially those who are lost, broken, or manipulative. You've probably been in more than one one-sided relationship, friendships or romances where you played the therapist. These patterns leave you emotionally bankrupt and questioning your worth. You wonder if love always comes with a price. 8. You live in two worlds, and struggle to stay in either. INFJs toggle between their inner world and the external reality. One is rich, safe, and full of meaning, the other is noisy, demanding, and often shallow. You might spend hours daydreaming, creating intricate stories or scenarios in your mind, then struggle to return to the present. This duality can feel like spiritual dissonance. You're never fully here, but you're not fully there either. It's a lonely place to be. 9. You're rarely satisfied, because you see what could be, not just what is. INFJs are visionary perfectionists. They see potential everywhere and can't help but feel restless in its absence. A job that others find satisfying might feel empty to you. You crave purpose, not just productivity. This dissatisfaction can become chronic. You wonder if you're ungrateful or just hard to please. But the truth is, you're wired to seek meaning. 10. You feel like an old soul in a fast-moving world. INFJs often feel like they were born in the wrong era. Their values, depth, introspection, loyalty, seem outdated in a world addicted to speed and superficiality. You may feel alienated in social settings where everyone's glued to their phones or obsessed with appearances. This disconnect creates existential loneliness. You're surrounded by people, but rarely seen. You long for something timeless, sacred, real. You are not too much. You are not too intense. You are simply tuned into a frequency that most people can't hear. But that doesn't make you wrong, it makes you rare. INFJs, your mind is a treasure chest of insight, emotion, and purpose. Yes, it's complex. Yes, it's exhausting at times. But it's also powerful, needed, and beautiful. If this resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Like, comment, and share this with another INFJ who needs to feel seen. And if you haven't yet, subscribe. We dive deep into what it really means to be an INFJ every week. You are not alone. And you were never meant to fit in, you were meant to awaken others by simply being yourself. Stay intuitive. Stay rare. Stay you.